So I invite you to now please join us as we move into our time of meditation this morning. Just by simply allowing your breath to just flow naturally in its natural state. Just by growing comfortable where you're sitting or where you lay if you're at home, and just allowing yourself to relax, your body to just relax, shoulders, arms, neck, head. Just letting go of any tension you feel anywhere in the body. Any tension that could be blocking any of your chakras or any of the flow of the good throughout your body. Just allowing thoughts to come and thoughts to go. Sensations in the body to just come and to go. And this morning, as we go into our meditation, I invite you to bring to mind the word change. Not pocket change, but change. I heard some giggles, so bring to mind the word change. And just allow yourself to think for a moment. Does change perhaps bring about thoughts of fear? Does it bring thoughts of lack? Does it bring excitement? Does it bring possibility? What does change mean to you? And if it does bring feelings that aren't necessarily felt to be so positive, if it does bring thoughts of fear and lack, what word could you replace those negative connotations with? If it's fear, how could you change that to excitement? If it's lack, how could you change that to possibility? So what I will invite you to do today is to think about the ultimate result that you fear with change. What is it you see in your church community or in your life? What is the ultimate outcome that you see? What is it, the ultimate outcome that you desire, that you want in your life or in this community? And I invite you to just keep your focus placed up on that. Let the excitement of what it will feel like to achieve that fill your body. The possibilities that come with that, the joy that comes with that. And we're preparing to go into a moment of silence. And while we're in that silence, let's just sit with that for a little while. Let's sit with that ultimate outcome that you desire. And let's allow the feeling of that joyous possibility to just run through our bodies as we move into our time of silence together this morning. And as you bring your awareness back to this time and this space, I challenge you to not let the vision stay in this room when you leave today. I challenge you, I invite you to take it with you and to hold that vision, to write it on a vision board, to write it on a piece of notebook paper. Whatever the best way is for you to hold that vision, I invite you to do that. Because here in Unity, we're taught that our thoughts become things. Those things that we desire most first begin in the mind. So I ask you to leave with that vision and to hold it close, hold it dear in your heart. Meditate on it, pray on it. Don't forget that vision that you have. And most importantly, don't forget the feeling that comes with that. Hold that feeling and go back to that anytime that you need it. Because it's always there. Always there for you. So let's just breathe and tell ourselves that we're going to remember. We're going to remember this moment. And so it is. Namaste. I thought about just throwing caution to the wind. I almost started a train around the sanctuary. Should have. That would have been fun. And we had some dancing on the front row. That was some good dancing, too. You should have come up here and done some of that. All right. And before we get started, I wanted to give a very special welcome to Reverend Karen Romstand, who is a friend of mine, and she is tuning in this morning from South Carolina. She's a very dear friend of mine. She's a very dear mentor, and she is my co-minister for my new alternative ministry. So welcome, Karen. It's good to see you out there this morning. And watch, she's probably not even on. She's probably like, I watched the recording. But anyway, just kidding, Karen. All right. Well, so this morning, my talk is going to admittedly be short because there's some other things we've got planned this morning. So the one thing I will probably invite everyone to do is not get used to future talks being that short, because I can't speak for other ministers. And I fear I might have spoiled y'all a little bit by doing, 15 to 20-minute talks every Sunday. So if y'all get somebody in here that gives you a 30-minute one, just welcome them, and be ready to go with the change. Remember, we meditated on change, so go with it. It's probably going to be a good lesson, right? Okay, so anyway. But so last week we discussed some wisdom, and it was from the great, and I hate to say now late, Thich Nhat Hanh. But today I want to circle back around to some of his wisdom. And I want to do so this morning in hopes that it's something that you will take with you today and not forget. So one of the things we talked about last week was when Thich Nhat Hanh, he once advised us to be open to the mysteries. I can't say it, I want to say ministries. The mysteries of life. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on Buddhist teachings. I've kind of delved into them from time to time, but I in no way claim to be an expert. But I do want to mention Buddhist teachings because when you study them, you're often going to hear the word impermanence and how everything is impermanent. Now, I found a website called Great Mystery, and it mentions impermanence. And it says, the Buddha taught that everything is impermanent. Flowers, tables, mountains, political regimes, bodies, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. We cannot find that anything is permanent. So things, life in general, is always changing. It's always shifting. And it brings opportunities, and sometimes it feels as if it's taking opportunities away, right? But it's always changing. Life is always in a state of change. Even the cells in our bodies are always changing. We aren't even the same exact person. We're not even in the same exact body we were when we walked through the doors this morning. Because something in the body has changed since you first walked through the doors. Maybe it's a cell change. Something has changed. So I want to tie back into being open to the mysteries of life. Now, it's really difficult to do that when we fear the impermanent nature of life. It's really hard to do when we want to cling to the way things are, or when we want to stay stuck back in the past somewhere. Let's look at churches as an example. Churches all over the world. Church has been changing for a very long time, even if only very subtly. Ministers have been talking about it amongst ourselves. Congregants have started talking about it. And we've always kind of talked about how, things are starting to change, but I also think that we've kind of talked about it as kind of an afterthought. Kind of an afterthought somehow, because it seemed to be happening slowly or somewhere out there. Or to some other church out there that wasn't our own. But now, COVID has shown us the way church used to be, just isn't so anymore. So look around this room right now. The people you see sitting in this room are only a fraction of the people that are watching our services. Because there are Sundays when our numbers show that we've had over 120 people in attendance. People who have likely never even stepped foot into this building. But does it mean that they are any less a part of this community? It doesn't mean that at all. It's merely just one representation of how church is changing. Some people are choosing to not even come to the building anymore. One woman was here visiting a couple of weeks ago, and she used to live here but now lives in Australia. And mentioned how she's tuned in from Australia. That wasn't happening just a few short years ago. Church is changing. And as such, we have to be open to the mystery of it all as it unfolds. And we have to get ready to ride the wave of that change, because if not, we're going to be left behind. And I'm not talking about that traditional Hellfire and Brimstone Left Behind series, if you've ever read it. It's not that kind of Left Behind. Don't think I'm going Hellfire and Brimstone, because I'm not. But you may very well have a new minister standing here within a year's time or even before. The thought of that can be scary for some, right? Because it's change. It's a mystery, isn't it? Who will this person be? Will this person tell bad jokes the way Evan has? Maybe or maybe not, but I ask you to be open to the mystery as it unfolds. Let's think about a good mystery book or a movie or television show that you've watched. We've all watched a mystery at some point. We enjoyed the mystery. Part of the fun was that what was hidden, the hidden clues along the way, right? That's what I always enjoy about mysteries. The whole trying to figure out who done it. We enjoyed the mystery because the thrill of not knowing at the time. Because if you just flipped open a mystery book and the mystery was solved in the front, you'd probably put the book up and be like, well, that was a waste of my time. So I invite you to be open to this mystery in the same way. Maybe my time here as your minister has come to a close at this church, but this community continues on. As with the continuation comes a journey. And it can be a very exciting journey. Maybe you'll even get a minister this time who is a Packers fan. I'll try to put a word in around unity for y'all. But Mary Claire's just sitting there shaking her head at me. You don't have any tomatoes or anything down there, do you, to throw? Okay. But in all seriousness, this mystery is also one that can be exciting. It can be thrilling. It can be fun. Things in life may not be permanent, but it doesn't mean that it can't be fun along the way. It doesn't mean that the journey along the way can't inspire us. It doesn't mean that we can't throw ourselves right into the middle of the mystery and to be okay with not knowing how it's going to turn out. I don't know how the next mystery in my life's going to turn out, but I'm going to ride the wave, and I invite you all to do the same. I also invite you to be open. I invite you to ride the wave not knowing where and when that wave's going to break. I know it's a little hard to think about waves and surfing in Wisconsin, but go out on a limb here. But I invite you to ride that wave and to give it your best and to give it your all, whether you know how to surf or not. I invite you to not be afraid of the changes that are to come and to flow with those changes. All of us have this amazing opportunity that's right in front of us to grow and to expand and to enjoy this specific mystery of life. So I invite you to be bold today, to step out fearlessly into the impermanence, and to step faithfully out into the mystery of life and to enjoy the ride, because it's going to be great, I promise you. And I'm going to leave you with another bit of words for myself. Trust your board here, because you've got an excellent board. People that come on are going to be excellent. So I invite you to trust your board and to work with them, because they're here for you and they want to work with you to see this community continue to grow. So please be open and work with them as they move through this time. They're going to need your support, and I invite you to support them. They're an excellent, very intelligent group of people, and they've got some good ideas. So be open with them and work with them. That's not a challenge. That's an order, everybody. All right. But seriously, it's going to be great. Please remain open. That's all. That's the biggest words that I can leave you with on this platform, is to be open and be willing. Thank you, everybody. All right, and now I'm going to introduce our new members. Some of them may not be here in person. So if you're not, please just stand up online and do this, and we'll just still welcome you. But I'm going to call their names, and I'd just like for the new members to stand. This isn't a chance to embarrass anybody, just so people can get to know who you are. Some of these names you're probably going to recognize because they've been coming to church. So I'm going to call them out. We have, just so you all know, you have 13 new members. 13 new members that believe in this community. It is growing. So keep that consciousness in mind of growing. Keep the consciousness in mind of this sanctuary overflowing, and the people online, there being so many that the stream can't even handle it all. All right, so I'm going to call your names. If you're here and you're a new member, please just stand. And once everybody is standing, we'd like to give you a big unity blessing to welcome you into this community. So Kathy and Jim Womble, I don't see them here in person today, so they might be traveling actually. But Kathy and Jim, if you're watching, we welcome you. Steve Schroeder, Jamie Gaylor, Victory Leroy Smith, Lauren, I'm going to try not to botch your last name. Lauren Bobzian? Bobzine. Laurel Bobzine. John, I'm going to try the same thing with you. John Panuska? All right. And I think I know yours. Mary Claire Glassenhart? All right. Alicia White. And I don't think I see Ren in here, but Ren Vile. Okay, Ren, if you're watching online, we welcome you. Tricia Hillner. Venus Washington. And also her lovely wife, Erica Ross Washington. So I invite you now to join me as we give them all a welcoming, big unity blessing. New members, we love you, we welcome, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the child you are. Amen. I forgot the unity blessing, okay. I can admit it, I didn't even think about it. Okay, so anyway, welcome everybody. We're glad to have you as Unity of Madison members. All right, and now we will go ahead and have the second special music come on up. Pete and Anya and Vicky.